Chapter 6 March 1957, Beijing. Thanks to her father's connections and influence, Zoe had transferred to the Beijing Institute of Physics and Atomic Energy 2 years after she resumed teaching. The facility offered far better equipment for her research, and for the past 4 years, she had thrived on the challenges. The different venue was a relief, exchanging a life sentence of subordination for a normal life, at least on the surface. Although the blemish of her past seemed like an ever-present cage trapping her, she steadily became more independent, although still the potential enemy of China, required to submit a self-examination paper to the party every now and then. She found it impossible to speak of the sense of oppression. She only knew that she couldn't afford to make another mistake. So she had to be cautious and submissive at every turn, and doing research was the only way to cushion her from the harrowing uncertainties all around. Early that morning, Zoe had followed all the staff filing into the assembly hall like a herd of sheep. She dropped her bag on a bench, waiting for the meeting to begin. After so many political movements, people were not surprised to have small meetings Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, assemblies on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, and a street rally every Sunday. Today's gathering was a mobilization assembly, asking for volunteers to work at a brand new facility in defense of the motherland. The party secretary was delivering a stirring manifesto speech for the occasion. Comrades, 4 years ago, with help from our Russian friends, we constructed an atomic research reactor and a cyclotron at this center. Since then, this location has become China's premier nuclear research center. We have not only achieved many significant research breakthroughs, but also trained many excellent scientists. Recently, some of you participated in the construction of a gaseous diffusion uranium enrichment plant in Lanzhou to provide high-grade uranium. Now we need more scientists and engineers to volunteer to work on another project, the number 221 plant, also called Qinghai Mining. It is located in the northwest section of Qinghai Tibet Plateau, 101 kilometers from Xinying, capital of Qinghai Province. The number 221 plant will significantly strengthen our border security, allowing us to not only defend our motherland, but also win any war against American imperialism. Because the plateau is a desert, 3,200 meters above sea level, the environment will be very harsh. However, it is a place that will test us both physically and mentally. Comrades, now is the time to show your loyalty to the motherland, the party, and our great leader, Chairman Mao. Nobody knew what this number 221 plant was for, but it didn't matter. Immediately, the assembly rang with the patriotic shouts and cheers. Defend the new China! Die for the Center Party! Down with American imperialism! Long live Chairman Mao! Some people immediately jumped to their feet to pledge their commitment to the party. One man bit his finger until it bled and wrote his name on the register with his own blood. So he sat quietly, watching the absurdly enthusiastic fervor unfold around her. China was mad. Every street corner could become a denunciation battleground, and everyone despised America. She had no interest in competing and shouting slogans. She just wanted to leave the assembly hall safely and go back to her research, where she could find peace and satisfaction. She glanced at the register as it was passed into her hands and quickly handed it over to the colleague standing next to her. Suyi, have you put your name down to work at the number 221 plant yet? Asked Gu, sitting behind her desk on Zoe's right side. Zoe looked up from the paper she was studying. I'm thinking about it, she said absently, her eyes automatically shifting to the propaganda poster across from her desk, where the party secretary was talking to another researcher. I have. I'm determined to dedicate my life to the communist cause, said Gu proudly, looking at Zoe for praise. I want to use my physical actions to show a clear cut from my family. My parents are rightists, counter-revolutionary academic authorities, but I'm not. Zoe nodded, respecting Gu's choice. But it saddened her that another family was to be broken apart by the political movement. She would rather die than be forced to denounce her parents, she thought to herself. Nothing could change her gratitude for the love and care her parents had given her. Looking around now, the traditional Chinese culture of respecting elders and knowledge was being thrown away like rubbish. Students denounced their teachers, and parents were classified stinking intellectuals. She was increasingly coming to understand the depression her father experienced when he became very quiet and only sighed a lot. Why was more knowledge more anti-revolutionary? She was confused. How could China develop without knowledge? Comrade Meng, called the party secretary, striding up to Zoe's desk with loud, purposeful steps. I didn't see you signing the pledge. Zoe looked at him. She could feel the hostility emanating from the corners of his peering eyes. She smiled briefly, something she had trained herself to do when facing potential humiliation and pressure. She took her time, trying to think of the right words to reply. But I know you will stand up to defend our country, the party secretary prompted more explicitly. I don't know. As a pure nuclear research scientist, what can I do in a mining factory? It's more an attitude issue. Everyone can contribute something to defend our motherland, unless you choose not to, he said, his stern eyes examining her. I'm determined to defend our motherland, Zoe hastily stated. She understood the real meaning behind his words and was afraid of becoming a target again. She knew she had to prove her political conscience, but she was not ready, particularly at that very moment when her father was in deep trouble. Baba had been forced to stop teaching at Beijing University for 3 months because a group of Red Guards discovered that he used to be a member of the National Education Bureau before liberation. He was under investigation as a potential nationalist spy, although he believed his innocence would clear his name soon. Mama had cried a few times, worried about his long-term safety. She had to be with her parents, to comfort and support them. She said carefully, Of course, I will sign the petition, but I forgot to tell my parents beforehand. The party secretary looked at her with a questioning expression. I heard that your father is under investigation. Her heart tightened suddenly. She was rather shocked that Beijing University was widening the investigation, and even her institute knew now. Her first thought was that she had to do something to stop Baba from suffering further. She said to the party secretary in a firm voice, My father loves Chinaman Mao, loves the Communist Party. He always encourages me to contribute our lives to our motherland unreservedly. That's why he asked me to come back as soon as the new China was founded. And now he will be delighted to see me working for the new number 221 plant. She picked up the paper from the secretary, quickly signed it, and handed it back. The party secretary observed her actions thoughtfully, and then commented with a satisfactory expression. I believe your actions today have proven your father's character. I will recommend personally that he be cleared of further investigation. Zoe looked at the secretary with gratitude. She felt a sense of relief, hoping that he would really go tell Beijing University positive things about her and her father. All she wanted was her father to be cleared and allowed to return to lecturing. The party secretary left with a victorious smile, confident he could claim a 100% petitioning ratio under his leadership. However, Zoe could not go back to her research. She felt rather frail and worried whether her signature could really protect her father. Hopefully it won't take too long, so then the Red Guards will stop coming to search the house and taking away valuable things. Perhaps they'll leave my family in peace again, she thought. Yesterday her room had also been looted by the Red Guards. Luckily, they hadn't found the wooden box hidden under her clothes at the back of a drawer. It contained the only connection to John she still had, the ring and John's photo, her memory and wish. With the box in her hand, she had another sleepless night, consumed by thoughts of John and nervousness at the idea of losing the box. Zuyi, well done! Gu's excited voice pulled her back to reality. She waved her fingers and said, full of admiration, I wish I could go with you. You're one of the top physicists here. For sure they will choose you first. Zoe tried to imagine how her parents would inevitably react when she told them. They would be sad and worried, no matter how she explained it, she thought. It would probably be better to wait until Baba was rehabilitated. In her mind, there was nothing more important than keeping them safe and happy.